I have another interesting experimental video for you. There's been a lot of controversy between Kurt's Card Care and Miracle Card Care, both of which are trading card polishing compounds. However, this one is homemade. This one, I'm pretty sure it's repackaged from some kind of automotive abrasive material. So, what we're going to do is we're going to polish the hell out of two cards, one with Kurtz and one with Miracle. And we're going to let it sit for 24 hours to see what happens when we try to remove the polish after letting it sit for 24 hours. But are we going to work with any of these cards? No. These are for the personal collection. As with anything, when you do some experimental shit, you take cards that are useless. To me, anyway. So we got two of the same base set energy psychic cards. Let's get into it. Okay, so the only thing I've done, put my trusty dusty glove on, remove the tops of both bottles, liquid, kind of a waxy paste. And we're gonna mark, we'll say a big old K for Kurtz with a Sharpie, and a big old M for Miracle Card Care. Let's go ahead and wake up the Kurtz a little bit. At anything about 70 degrees or cooler in the house, and this, you know, it's like a soft wax almost, but it's homegrown, meaning not my home, but Kurt has formulated this to be non-abrasive. But I'm going into this, I will say I'm trying to be experimental without a bias, but as far as product usage goes, I've started with Miracle Card Care, and now I pretty much exclusively use Kurtz. Every now and then, if I get a card that I'm just giving a polish to shine it up just a little bit, for the hollow part only, if it's really dingy, I might wipe it down with a little bit of the card spray stuff, not directly applied to the card, but to a little foam pad. And I'll do a gentle wipe down with the card spray stuff. And then, or if I'm like working out like a crease or something. And then I'll use the Miracle Card Care to kind of do a one, maybe two wipe polish. But I've come to the conclusion, or at least the belief, that the Miracle Card Care stuff is repackaged liquid abrasive. So I'm pretty careful with it now. So we're going to see what happens after, now that we've warmed this up a little bit. Let's get into it. So we're just going to, let's see. And typically for a card that you really care about, especially as you start working these corners, you kind of want to flatten your applicator tip as you go over the edges and over the corners so you don't pull it onto the corner, and especially if you're getting it graded afterwards. So we're just going to do half the card. I think that'd be good for the experiment. And I'm pretty liberally, like I'm bending the stick. Let's see, I'm giving it a good, it's bending like that. So I'm giving it a decent amount of downward pressure. But something like after, see this little leftover on the edge of the card, you got to make sure you wipe it all, just like you take your microfiber cloth and you wipe it all clean after you're done. You have to make sure you wipe it really good on the edges too. Not really good, like strongly, but just a gentle wipe on all edges and corners, just in a way that's not going to damage it, but to where you get the point made. Man, I think that's pretty liberal. Let's see. I think we can tell where it is and where it isn't. Divider line's about right here. All right, let's try that. Put this down, and this stuff comes straight up as, I don't want to turn it upside down because it will spill out. Typically, for the experiment, I'm going to go pretty liberal with it, but as I did with the Kurtz. But if I'm using this for my own personal stuff, like on the holo, like I was talking about, hell, I'll even wipe the inside of the cap just to get just a little bit on it at a time, because I really don't want to use it on much else other than the holo, and as little really as I can, because I don't know, I feel like it just would lift paint if I really get into it hard. Same amount of pressure, same surface area of the card. So in 24 hours-ish, tomorrow afternoon, when I go to wipe this stuff off, we're gonna see, first of all, what it looks like after sitting on here for 24 hours. And then secondly, what happens when we wipe it off. So far though, it's not doing so bad. I've kind of just been too nervous to try this experiment with anything worth a damn. Well, I don't think we can get much more polished than that with one coat, I mean. But I'm trying to apply the same technique, same usage on both cards. So let's see. I think we can tell. All right, let's see what happens when it dries. All right, it's been about 24 hours-ish. It's 2:30 in the afternoon now, the next day. Let's check out Kurtz. Let's check out Miracle Card Care. Okay. Let's see what happens when we wipe them off. Microfiber cloth. These are really good too. Nice and soft. That's all you really need. Microfiber, nice and soft. Let's take a look. Look at that, staying on there. Let's check out the Miracle Card Care stuff. Oh, considerably more less smooth, more abrasive to the feel. Interesting. Definitely a little bit more polished, but I can see evidence of moisture on there still. Mostly going across the middle. No whiting that I see. Interesting. Kurt's is definitely smoother, but I can see evidence left over if not quickly wiped off. Interesting. Interesting. But the one thing between the two that I also notice, look at the Sharpie. Hasn't been removed, starting to be removed with evidence. So I would say I'm still kind of held in my belief that the Miracle Card Care stuff is actually abrasive, but it looks like you have to remove the Kurt stuff. You can't leave it on there or it'll leave a film on top. So what happens if we do another layer on top? I wonder if it'll remove like that. Let's see. So where's it go down? Okay. I'm kind of wondering if it's like a not so much like a dry erase marker that's been on the board for too long, but more like you can wipe some new fresh dry eraser marker and the alcohol in it kind of helps wipe it off. But I'm wondering if kind of like how you have to wake this stuff up by causing friction and wiping it a bunch to get it to come off, or to loosen up a little bit. So I am gonna repolish it again and see if there's a difference. Lots of little circles, lots of rubbing. Let's see what happens. Oh, definitely more. Oh, there it is. It's starting to smooth up now. Now let's see. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Okay, so the Kurt stuff will come off with a little bit of, I guess, I don't want to say heat, but friction-induced heat. What is that? I can see it. Well, that's good to know. That means if you leave any on there and you check it, you can still get it off and end up with a nice polish shine after. I don't know what that is, but it does have a nice sheen. Looks like I see some spotty evidence of maybe like moisture that's stayed in. What's this on the side? It might be a scratch or something. Interesting. Okay, so I bet if I wiped it a little bit more, it'd come off. Let's try the polish. Where'd it go? Oh, it's in here. I'm gonna use a separate applicator. Not touched by the Kurt stuff. So look at that, M's like disappearing. Okay, so we know from this test that Kurt's is non-abrasive. Miracle Card Care is abrasive. At a very micro level, I suppose, but maybe that's how it gets such a good shine on the hollow stuff. And then Kurt's is overall just general polishing. But I still see a long, strong, look at that. See that darkness? It's definitely removing something. And by something, I mean the permanent marker. Guess it depends on what application you're using it for. I've seen somebody use something like this to remove like ink marks on something, but I know I can see this like almost like a moisture, like when wood gets wet or something kind of thing. It just kind of soaks in there and stains it a little bit. Interesting. Well, all right, I guess I'm gonna stick to my guns in terms of if you want the least abrasive product, definitely go with Kurt's. If you want a more abrasive product, go with Miracle Card Care. In either stance, once you put it on, do your layer, whatever you gotta do, wipe it off, microfiber. If you feel like you need another layer, put it on, wipe it off. All right, well, I'd say that concludes our experiment. What do you guys think?